Well, welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you'll love this vibe, okay, darling? Everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. All are welcome on this channel, and all contributions are highly appreciated. Tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. It is a good idea to have an empty cup if you really want to see what's up. Thank you all for stopping by and saying hi. I hope you're feeling great, okay? The card I have today here is Cibation. It says purify, cleanse, and release. So there is something that you need to cleanse, you need to purify, you need to release. This could be a need to cleanse in order to release stagnation in your life or in a situation. Maybe you feel blocked. Maybe you feel things are moving slow. And Spirit is saying this is a good time to cleanse, whether this is spiritually, whether this is energetically, okay, or this could be in the physical. Maybe you need to clean your environment. The more organized you become, it creates a domino effect in your life, okay? And this could also represent maybe taking a spiritual bath, doing some spiritual cleansing, okay? This cleansing needs to be done in order for you to obtain a release. You may want to do some research if you're not aware of any ideas of how you can cleanse or do some releasing. Maybe you want to get into meditation, but you're not sure of it. It's a good idea, Source is saying, to do some research, okay? I'm just naming a few things. Get outside into nature, do some grounding. That's another way you can release. If you're someone who likes to write, Spirit is saying get that notebook or piece of paper, crayon, and get to writing. There are many ways that a person can release energy that does not serve them for their highest good. There are many ways that you can cleanse your aura. There are many ways that you can ground yourself. So basically, Spirit is saying this is the time to recalibrate your energy. And with Cibation here, what it means, as you see the bird is about to feed the baby bird here, it means to undergo a transformation. But while this baby bird will go through its transformation, for an example, like maybe you are surrendering to, maybe you're having an ego transformation, an ego death experience, surrendering, allowing your ego to drive you and control you to make decisions for yourself. Maybe your ego has been keeping you in fear, creating stagnation, putting you in the process of stinking thinking, giving you theories that are illusions. And maybe it's time for you to release that, okay? Every time, you say you're going to the gym, you end up, sitting back down or doing something different, because that's your ego distracting you, oh, you can go tomorrow. You don't have to go today. Or you're going to drive all the way to that gym. What you going to go outside and walk for? You're going to look silly. It ain't going to work. You want to lose weight. It's going to take a long time. That's the ego talking, okay? Your ego can have you thinking and doing all kind of things, okay? But it's an illusion. So you have to, as you work on yourself and get to know yourself, Spirit wants you to be aware of your energy and wants you to gain a better understanding of what energy is yours and what energy is not. And when that stinking thinking or that negative self-talk comes into play, that you can just simply tell it to get out of here. I'm not hearing you today, okay? You can curse it out if you want to, okay? Get the... you can tell her to get out your way, okay? You can't have my joy today. I'm going to the gym. I'm going out to walk. I'm just using that as an example, okay? Or maybe you're in school and you have a test coming up, and you need to study, but your friend just called you because it's a party going on. And this party is going to be the party of the parties, okay? This is something that you can't miss out on. They're telling you everybody going to be there. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. That girl you like, that guy you like, they going to be there. And you got this new outfit and you just ready. You even got extra money. You just ready to go. And you're supposed to study for that test, but your ego is saying, oh, you can study when you get back. You can study tomorrow. Go on to that party. You want to wear that outfit. And then, the inner part of you saying, you know what? I do got a new outfit. I do got some extra money. You know what? I do want to see so-and-so. I do like him or I do like her. That's the ego talking, distracting you, giving you reasons not to stay on course, giving you reasons why you can't stay focused on what's important. So this libation here represents being fed while you're going through a transformation. And this feeding process could be watching this read, receiving motivation and inspiration from Lady Noble, receiving encouragement from people around you. You may have people around you whom you respect or you admire. You could have you who are influential to you in a positive way. Okay, maybe you have people who you confide in and have conversations with. Maybe you have a life coach. Okay, there could be many things and many different ways that you can be fed while you're going through your transformation. But the goal is to know the difference of what's your energy and what's not your energy. And for you to work on this consistently, not just in a moment, not just because I mention it, but Spirit wants you to work on this collective consistently as you move forward on your path. Everybody's life is different. Our daily routines consist of a lot of different things, okay? But Spirit is saying it's very important to know yourself first, okay? It's very important and critical to know your energy. What is yours? What isn't yours? Why is it that you wake up one day smiling, happy, beaming with joy, and by noon, 2 or 3 hours later, you're upset and you don't know why? You know, you're not thinking that maybe it's the conversation that you had 30 minutes ago on the phone. You're not thinking that it's the gossiping conversation that you engaged, you know, with a friend, you know, talking about who did what, who slept with who, or you're not thinking that it's the complaining that you've been doing lately, you know, and the momentum of these things can create stagnation in your life. Okay, it can shift your vibration, it can shift your aura. And so Spirit is saying that it's time for you to have a cleansing. It is time for you to have that release. Okay, and work on knowing what energy, once again, is yours and what isn't yours. You know, many people endure many energetic attachments. And because we all have different belief systems and we have free will and we have free choice, you know, we don't have to be in agreement with each other. You know, everyone isn't into spirituality. You know, everybody isn't into wearing crystals. Okay. Everyone isn't into tarot. And that's okay because we all are individually, uniquely, divinely created, you know, but there are a lot of things that take place. And the things that we run from is really the things we should be running to. And we stay in question, wondering why certain things are occurring in our lives. And Spirit is saying, once again, the very thing that you may be resisting or running from just may be the thing that you should be running to, you know. And so, yeah, it's time for a release. It's time for a cleanse. It's time to let go. People, places, and things, old ideas, things that occurred in your past. It's time to let go and let it flow. You cannot hold on to everything. Be mindful of what you're feeding yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Be mindful of your environment, what you're feeding yourself, how you think of yourself, negative self-talk. You know, even if you have to get in the mirror and do some positive affirmations on a daily and speak to yourself, okay, to get that vibration up. That's for somebody. But you need to be mindful of what you're feeding yourself so that you can remain cleansed, so that you can remain in the energy of constantly purifying yourself, because this is something that has to be done constantly, collective. This is not, Spirit is not saying, okay, do this today and that's it. No. You know, everything is energy. Energy can never be destroyed. Okay, it simply travels from one thing to another. We're constantly in the energy of evolution. So this cleansing, this purifying has to be done constantly. You know, it's like using a smudge stick. This isn't something that you burn once in a while. This is something that you do incorporated with many, many, many other things on a regular basis, because you want to work on making sure that you are releasing and that you are cleansing. Okay. The first card that we have here is 12, Acrobat. Okay. Source is saying it is not as hard as you think. It is not that deep. You know, the idea of cleansing, the idea of purifying your energy, the idea of learning yourself and knowing yourself. Be patient with the process. Things you don't know. I'm picking up again. Somebody needs to be free and feel free to research. If you have to Google. You know, if you need to go to the library, do that. If you need to order books, do that. If you know someone with information on a particular topic or subject who you trust in that area, Spirit is saying do that. But it is not as hard as you think. As you see, she's hanging from this tree here, but she looks free and looks comfortable. Okay, it is not as hard as you think. And once you have this cleanse and once you have this release, you'll feel just like this lady in this card. Whee! free as a bird. Free as a bird. With the Eight of Swords here, no longer feeling connected, fenced in, binded, or stuck. Able to let go and let it flow. Okay, with the parachute here. Okay. So it's time for a release, this reading may not be for everyone. This is for people who are desiring to do something different in their life. And everyone isn't desiring to do something different. And that's okay. Everyone does not have to cross the street at noon. Every plane will not take off at the same time. It wouldn't be wise, nor would it be smart. That's okay. We're all in different spaces and places in our lives. But Spirit is saying that you know who you are. You know what needs to be let go. Whether it's a person, a habit, a way of thinking, a way of being or doing, you know who you are. And it's not as hard with acrobat here as you think. Be patient with yourself. And Spirit is saying, do things in your own way, in a way that is comfortable for you. And so that's why they told me to keep mentioning research and look up things for yourself. You do not have to believe everything I say. You do not have to do what I tell you, what I mentioned. Research things and look them up for yourself, Spirit is saying. But it's very easy. It's not as hard as you think, okay? It is time for a release because you've been in the energy of desiring to celebrate and rejuvenate. You've been in the energy of wanting to be around people who will celebrate you and support you. The Six of Wands represents celebrating a victory or a success after fighting a battle, after feeling like you've been in a war or a struggle. This lady, male or female, is sitting wrapped in a blanket in front of a fire, cozy and warm, having a snack. They're roasting marshmallows. These wands here represent people celebrating with her and honoring her and saying, good job, well done, good job. These are energies that are supportive. These are energies who are fruitful, not fruitless, and very supportive, okay, of the things that she have accomplished and overcame. These are energies of people who are okay with seeing her sit and rest and be in comfort. And that's really hard to find. It is. I'll say that. But it is possible and it is obtainable for all. Okay, to experience. When you find someone who is supportive of who you are as a person, when you find someone who doesn't mind celebrating you at your high points, as well as assisting you and being there at your low points, these are energies who are happy to see her resting, to see her in comfort. It's a blessing. It's a gift. It's an honor when you're able to come across people whom are supportive. Each one of these sticks represents someone standing there. They're warming their marshmallow. Okay, she's having her treat, but they're there in support of her because she's come from a battle. She's come from a long mission and path of enduring a lot. And when I say enduring a lot, this could be a relationship that is unhealthy, whether it's romantic, friendship, family members, competitive behavior, people competing, a cheating spouse, someone stealing from you, experiencing being attached or in a household with a narcissistic, person who's very controlling and vindictive, okay? Or being in a relationship with a coverted narcissist, one who likes to mask their true identity, who will breadcrumb you, giving you hopes that there's something that's going to develop from you and them being together, but all along their plan is to just simply destroy and try to sabotage your self-worth. It's time to cleanse and release all of those things. Those are just a few, but put the reading where it resonates for you. And while you're going through this process of alchemy, of transformation, Spirit wants you to be mindful of your environment, what you are allowing your aura to absorb, even when it comes to movie and music, conversations you engage in, and be mindful of negative self-talk. Stinking thinking theory is what I call it, and many others. It's about getting you to the stage where you're able to bear fruit, where you're able to plant seeds that will flourish, plant seeds that will allow you to reap a harvest. The Seven of Pentacles. This person is fulfilled, grateful, and thankful that they put the work in. And Spirit wants you in that same energy, grateful and thankful that you applied yourself, that you took time to put the work in. You chose, no, you are choosing, excuse me, I'm going to claim it for you. You are choosing self-preservation. And this person is happy with joy. Wee, I did it. Look at my stars. Look at me glowing. Look at them, y'all. I did all this. All this right here. I did all this. So you have to release some things, okay? Those friendships where people throw hindsight, low-key shade. Those friendships where someone is always throwing shade at you or always using sarcasm, as a way to communicate with you. Whenever you've got something going on, they're non-supportive. Or those friendships where maybe they call you and want to dump all their energy off on you about their problems. Or they're calling you and telling you where they're going, what they're doing, but they never invite you. That's on purpose. That's intentional. Those are not your friends. It's time to release those kind of people. Sometimes people will connect with people and come off. That's that coverted narcissistic energy, as if they want to be your friend or an associate, but maybe they never invite you anywhere. They call you and tell you about where they went and where them and their other friends are going, but they never invite you. This is somebody energy I'm picking up on. That's on purpose. They're doing that intentionally, but they're using you as a dumping site every time they call you with their problems. They're dumping their negative energy and their problems off onto you, which shifts your frequency, which changes your vibration and puts you in a different mood, needing to constantly cleanse, purify, and release. Time to let it go. Time to be around people who are happy to see you, resting, rejuvenate, in the energy of comfort. Connections and relationships of people who support you as well as you support them. The reciprocity, the equal give and take. Time for you to enjoy your Ace of Pentacles. This could not only represent money, but having the right people, places, and things, okay, in your life to experience. This could be financial. This could be a career. This could be a loving friendship, a loving marriage or relationship. Prosperity, good health, longevity, the ability to be persistent, okay? Increased tenacity, self-efficient. So Spirit is giving you a key in this read. This is your confirmation. This isn't a coincidence. Spirit is giving you a key in this read. Spirit is confirming that it's time to release, cleanse, and purify. And while you're going through this process, which will be consistent throughout your entire life on this journey, it is a marathon. It is a continuous marathon. It is not a race. For you to be mindful that you do not let these same energies come back into your path, into your aura. Do not allow these same people to attach themselves to you while you're going through this experience of cleansing and releasing, while you're going through this transformation, while you're working towards your prosperity and your abundance, while you're doing your releasing, especially while you are relaxing and you have new energy in your life. People who are supportive, people who want to see you win, people who will applaud you. Not to say that you need this, but this is the kind of energy that you are deserving of. If you're going to entertain any kind of energy, Spirit is saying you deserve to have the right people around you because you have a big heart and you're a great person. But how people have treated you in your life over time may have made you feel different. This is your true nature, living in a life of comfort and overflow, abundance and prosperity, not because it dropped into your lap, because you've earned it. This is who you are. It's written in the stars for you. Later.